Hey everybody, this is the Drinker64, and alright, let's talk Ducktales. So when the show was first announced, I had every bit of faith in it. Not only was it airing on Disney XD, which already had shows going for it such as Gravity Falls, Star vs. the Force of Evil, and Milo Murphy's Law, but it also had a voice cast that made me really excited for it. I mean, just having David Tennant as the main lead is absolutely perfect for this show in every way. The animation from the first image we saw was perfect as well, and it had everything going for it, and surprisingly it lived up to it. This show is as good as I thought it would be, and this 1 hour pilot for the show proved it. I'm not saying it was perfect, but other than a few nitpicks, there wasn't really any problems so far as I could see. And while they did change a few things from the original show, it still had that charm that the original show had, which is something I'm very happy about, you know? So let's go ahead and take a look at the first episode and the show itself, just sort of give my overall thoughts on what I think of it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into it. So let's start off with the animation. It's beautiful. You only need to take a look at a few shots to see how incredible this show looks. It's probably obvious why though, should you look into it, as several of the people working on the show also worked on Gravity Falls, which explains why the art style is so similar. However, this bodes well, as Gravity Falls is also just as gorgeous. Will this show be better than Gravity Falls? Probably not, but so far, I have faith in it, and this episode pulled it off. So let's go ahead and talk about the characters for the show. So, you have Scrooge McDuck, who's obviously just a great character. He's voiced by David Tennant, who's a joy to listen to, and he's just all around a fun character. I don't really know what else to say. He's the main character, but he ain't my favourite character, putting that right out there. Then you have the nephews, Louie, Huey, and Dewey, and I love these guys now. So, basically, let me explain. Back when watching the original series, I hated these guys. Like, I really hated these guys. Their voices actually pissed me off to the point that I couldn't stand them in the slightest. However, now, in the new reboot, they have much less annoying voices, very pleasing to listen to, and out of all of them, Louie is my favourite. Just thought I'd put that out there, but, you know, that could always change as more episodes come out. It's just very nice that I don't find these three characters as annoying as I did in the original, because that would suck. So, next we have Donald Duck himself, who's actually shown to be Scrooge's sidekick before they gave up adventuring, which kind of leads into sort of the main story arc for the season, which I'll get into much later in the review, don't worry. Donald is, well, I'm not entirely sold on him yet. The whole thing with him in this episode is that he lands a job working for Glomgold. I'll get to that in a minute, and unknowingly works for the bad guy. It's pretty cool, I guess, but I'm probably gonna need to see more from him to really see if I like him more as a character. I need to see him do more adventuring stuff, more stuff that he would have done with Scrooge, so I don't know. That'd be pretty cool to see. I get that this is Donald Duck we're talking about, and I should probably like him, but I just don't know if I like him in this particular show yet. So yeah, that's my thoughts on probably one of the more iconic characters here. So then we have Webby. Webby is easily my favourite character in this episode, by a mile. She proves herself to be a badass, fighting the assassins at the end of the episode. She's been secretly investigating Scrooge's family for a while and has quite a lot of information. She's pretty awesome. So I guess since I'm on that sort of section of the episode, I guess, kind of weird. I guess I'll talk about this now. It was kind of weird to me that Glomgold was the bad guy here. I get that he's a major bad guy or villain on the show, and I know that the Beagle Boys will be in it eventually since they are in the intro, and Webby even name drops Ma Beagle, but I don't know, they just seem to be more recognizable to me than Glomgold. That's just me. Then again, I've seen the original show. For people who haven't, I can see why they did this, so fair enough, Disney, I guess. You know, for people who haven't seen the original series, this kind of makes more sense. And I guess speaking of the bad guy, Glomgold was exactly how you would expect him if you've seen the original series. I like him. Enough said. There's nothing else to really say about it. I like him as a character. It's pretty cool. And I'm kind of interested to see him again, so yeah. Next we have Mrs. Beakley. I hate her. She's arrogant, annoying. Although it is nice that her and Webby are in it from the start, unlike the original show where they first appeared in episode 3, which I remember very well, but I don't like her at all. She's just kind of annoying, I don't know. And lastly we have Launchpad McQuack, who is definitely a pilot, and he wants you to remember that throughout the first half of the episode. Don't forget that again, I like him. and I suspect we'll be seeing a lot more of him throughout the show since he's kind of a major player getting from place to place, so yeah, I'm okay with him, he's alright. So now that we've got sort of the major characters out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the episode, I guess. So the episode itself is basically split into 2 parts over an hour long. Basically the first half introducing everything before the intro and all of the Atlantis stuff after the intro. So let's go ahead and start with the first half then. Overall, it's a very solid introduction which in about 20 minutes gets you into who the characters are and what they are about, with some damn fun antics including the iconic dive into the money bin, which had to happen, let's be honest. Also, the pirate ghost and the Chinese dragon we saw in the trailer all happened here, so yeah, my thoughts on them being separate episodes is pretty much shattered here. I think all of the stuff in the trailer happened in this episode, actually. I'm trying to think. I think it did. There might be a couple things that didn't appear in this episode, but overall most of it did it, so yeah. Honestly, it just gets all of the annoying stuff out of the way before we get straight to adventure. I also have to give special mention to a sword that Scrooge owns called the Deus Excalibur. It's just beautiful. It's just a great name. But really, the meat of the episode comes in the form of Atlantis, which is honestly a pretty nice place to start because you know we'll go to the moon in this show eventually. It's Ducktales, it has to happen, I want to see the moon. So with the second half of the episode, you have 2 things going on in Atlantis. You have Scrooge and the kids trying to get to the Jewel of Atlantis, while at the same time you have Glomgold along with Donald and his hired assassins, who we will see again, by the way, as shown by the intro once again. It is pretty funny how you have Donald just accidentally helping Glomgold get closer to the jewel, as well as trying to stop Dewey from being burned alive, which is pretty cool. I also have no idea why this Jewel of Atlantis is so freaking interesting and why they want that. I mean, they did discover freaking Atlantis, okay? The lost city of Atlantis, the one thing nobody thought was real. Yeah, nah, the jewel was totally more important. I also really liked in this part some of the dialogue between Webby and Louie, trying to lie to Mrs. Beakley about where she is, and then you have Launchpad actually speaking in Swedish, mind you. At least I assume it's actual Swedish. I don't speak Swedish, so I wouldn't know. Then you have Glomgold actually getting the jewel, but it's the wrong jewel, and some stuff on Donald actually trusting his nephews more and getting the real jewel, which means Glomgold has a cursed jewel and is taken by some kind of sea monster later on. They do end up saving the assassins as the place is about to blow up, which honestly that's probably just going to blow back up in their face later on in the show, so that's totally what I would expect. So Scrooge goes back to adventuring by the end of it, and the kids get to stay with him some more. Again, it's just really nice setup for what the rest of the show is going to be. I'm really into this. Also, the end of the episode is the one time in the episode where Mrs. Beakley is actually cool, and speaking of Mrs. Beakley from the intro, it actually looks like she will be joining in on some of the adventures in the future, so I'm kind of interested to see what she can do. I don't really know. I mean, she's kind of boring so far. She's just the maid. So I don't really know how she can help on the adventures, but I guess we'll see. Maybe she's got some fighting skills that we don't know about. So again, while all this is great and there's some great moments in the episode, don't get me wrong, some great jokes, some great laughs, some great action, some just great stuff overall, the big revelation comes in the end scene. Honestly. Now, if you haven't seen the episode for whatever reason, stop watching right now since I'm about to spoil pretty much the entire plot thread for Season 1 at least. I assume it is, okay? Good. So at the end of the episode, Dewey lifts up part of a picture showing Scrooge and Donald fighting the pirate ghost from earlier. However, the picture then reveals a third hero who turns out to be Louie, Huey, Dewey's mom, and Donald's sister, I assume. This would explain why Scrooge and Donald decided to give up adventuring if something happened to her, and why Scrooge and Donald have a problem with each other if Scrooge probably had something to do with it. I don't know, maybe he was too greedy, maybe he had to lie, and then she got injured and died. I mean, at least I assume she died, because she's not around at this point, so I don't really know. Maybe she's not, I have no idea, but this does seem to be the case. But I guess we'll have to see how things turn out when more of the show actually airs. I have no idea when that is. It's going to be interesting to see how this gets explained, what actually happened to the other one, their mom and Donald's sister or whatever. But yeah, that is the first episode of the new Ducktales, and it was really good. I expect each episode will be about 22 minutes normally, just like the old show, and since they're already working on Season 2, I'm not worried about it ending anytime soon. as of right now, this episode was a success. And I can't wait to see more. Not sure when the next episode is, but I'm going to assume that we will see the Beagle Boys in that one. It only seems fair since we had Gongold in this one, so that's just how I kind of see it. But overall, that was it. Honestly, I absolutely adored it, and I've been waiting to talk about this for so long because it was such a goddamn fun thing to watch. I don't know when more is going to air. I want more right now. But I guess I'm going to have to wait. But with that, yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.